I'm tired of this mother effing healing in my mother effing PvP. Have you tried playing Crucible lately? Well, if not, let me be the first to inform you that Crucible right now is filled to the gills with people running healing grenades, Classy Restoration, Sunspots, Soul Invictus, Lorelei Splendor, you name it, healing is absolutely everywhere. And it makes sense, Solar's the thing right now, Solar plays into healing, but it makes you wonder, can I kill them? Can I please kill them? It is getting so annoying having to re-engage person multiple freaking times to finally get somebody to die. So today I have crafted 5 builds, 2 Warlock, 2 Hunter, and 1 Titan. I've spread them out equally throughout the video for your viewing pleasure that are specifically designed to counter healing focused builds. But before I get going, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Bespoke Post. Bespoke offers monthly boxes of top shelf goods from under the radar brands, and it's free to join. Bespoke is awesome because they source 90% of their products from high quality small businesses, and many of them are located right here in the US. Based on a preference quiz that you fill out, Bespoke introduces their members to cool new products like outdoor gear, home and kitchen goods, clothing, and much, much more. And the best part is that each product is valued around $70, but only cost you $49. And before anything is even shipped, you can decide if you want to get the box or just swap it for a different one entirely, or maybe just skip the month free of charge. I have been absolutely spoiled by how consistent and useful my goods have been. Like the Stealth Package, which includes a Bear brand assisted open pocket knife, a 7-in-1 tool pen, and a stealth money clip, and a key capsule. The Wet Kit, which includes 3 Arkansas oil stones, a beautiful wooden storage box, a premium honing oil, and a non-slip silicone base, and the Parlor Package, which came with this decanter set and wood bar tray. Bespoke is the real deal. Click the link in the description below. Use code TDT20 at checkout. That's bespokepost.com/TDT20 to save 20% on your first box. Let's jump straight into it with a Warlock build designed around the almighty Jotuun. Now you might say to yourself, Misa, it's not really much of an anti-healing build if you just kill them outright. And while you may be right, the Jotuun, of course, can just outright kill a Guardian. It barely needs to wince them in order to do so, and it has tracking like Tom Brady on crack cocaine. Now, that by itself is, of course, fine. I mean, it's not really something to make a video about. Jotuun is good, but what if we were to take that and bump it up to a level that was a little bit stupider? Using the Warlock's Rain of Fire boots, this allows you to get a radiant buff whenever you get a kill with the fusion rifle. Jotuun, in case you have forgotten, is not a rocket launcher that somehow found its way in the special ammo slot, but is in fact a fusion rifle. Getting a kill with the Jotuun while these boots are equipped, which I know you'll have to sell your soul to the Legendary Lost Sector to do when it is boot day, but assuming that you're able to do that, if you're able to clear it all out and get these boots, your secondary weapon has a 10% bonus. Now, 10% doesn't sound like a lot, but there's a handful of weapons that get you very, very close to being able to get a kill. And one of those is a pulse rifle, and the other is a 3-burst sidearm. Either of these weapons will allow the gun from a radiant burst to 2-burst a Guardian. So if you have a group of enemies that are doing large amounts of healing and you want to just make it so that you can guarantee the follow-up kill on the person even if they are healing, this is a fantastic way to go. Now, that's pretty good, all things considered. That's a pretty solid build. It's not the most interesting, but I think we could do better. What if we were to make it so where they couldn't react at all and we guaranteed ourselves a kill? Hunters, it's your time to shine. I've made a handful of videos on this now. In fact, if you haven't seen it, the original build creator that I am absolutely 100% stealing this build from is featured in the thumbnail that you're seeing on screen right now. Go check out that video. This build uses the Cryosthesia, one of the most underappreciated sidearms in the entire game. If you are not familiar with this gun, whenever you get a kill, you have the opportunity of switching into what is essentially a freeze one-shot snap burst. When you get this shot loaded, the next shot that you shoot will be that free shot, instantly freezing the target, and that by itself is pretty good, but it's not a guaranteed kill. Insert the now incredibly good tracking throwing knives. Throwing this with a lightweight throwing knife, which is the fastest and doesn't require a lot of follow-up, will guarantee that a frozen target hit from this will die instantly. It does not matter how much healing you have if you take over 300 damage from a throwing knife. Again, that's pretty good, but we can make it into a level that it is stupid. What if we made a blunt execution round BXR follow up this weapon, allowing whatever target they are unfortunate enough to cross our path to never have an opportunity to challenge us. With the BXR, with the Blunt Execution round, and the 10% Radiant buff that we get from the lightweight bonus or that Radiant fragment that you get, you're dealing so close to being a 1 burst if you can hit that head from the BXR. That's a lightweight pulse. That's one of the lowest damage pulse rifles in the game. Only thing that beats this is just things like rapid fire pulses. So yeah, you're pretty much guaranteed to win that follow-up engagement. And of course, this is on a Solar Hunter, so what better way to beat them than to be disguised as one of their own? They'll never see it coming. Now, that of course is pretty solid, but still requires us to get, you know, a little bit of extra work. It requires us to have killed a Guardian who might be abusing the healing mechanics from the beginning in order to get that free shot to follow up, and it doesn't really loop that well. So what if we just had a weapon that guaranteed that it didn't matter how much healing you had, you're dead outright? Now, when I think of trying to beat a really heavy healing based build, I think I'm trying to beat some type of PvE enemy, because when you think about it, it effectively is extending their health bar far past than what it should be capable of, because they're healing while they're taking damage with the restoration buff. Well, there's this weapon called Malfeasance, which is not a great weapon for PvP. It's Malfeasance. It's a 180 hand cannon. 180 hand cannon suck in PvP. Fight me, comment section, but Malfeasance has this special little quirk where it's guaranteed to kill a target if they're even remotely close to 200 HP. In other words, barring something like a Bubble Titan, which I decided to just show up and smack in its face anyway. You can kill anybody with this thing. So if you've got somebody who's doing a lot of healing, tag somebody out with a lot of Malfeasance shots, and your 5th shot is guaranteed to kill them even if they are at maximum health. So if you're getting an engage, even if the target is stupidly far away, you just keep shooting them and they'll explode. What's great about this is that the target won't really realize what's happening to them. They'll just kind of keep engaging you, and then suddenly they'll just be dead because they've taken 5 shots. Now, I'm actually pairing this with the Aeon Safes. These are those Aeon Cult Exotics, which you might think is a little bit odd. It doesn't really seem to pair with the Malfeasance that well, but in 6v6, Guardians die a lot. There's a lot of death that happens. And the Aeon Safes with the Sect of Vigor allows you to get class ability energy whenever, anywhere on the map an ally dies. And if you run this on Void Titan with the Void Overshield aspect, you're able to maintain your barricades up almost permanently. Like, I'm able to get one barricade immediately after the other with one still being up. And this allows us to have that little bit of advantage going into a fight, so we can actually kind of beat out their healing just the tiniest of bits. But even above that, both my melee and my grenade suppress a target. All of your healing comes from some type of class ability or a healing grenade. So if you just disable that altogether, yeah, they're not going to be able to heal. Let's jump back to Warlocks, who have an answer for healing by slowing down their healing from a sprint to a limp. Classic Trials of Osiris meta, even back in Destiny 1, the Thorn would always be an, no pun intended, thorn in our side, because not only did it deal slightly increased damage than your normal 140 hand cannon, but it would also reduce the speed at which you're able to get your health back because it kept you lit for longer. Well, if you apply this to the healing meta right now, it means that for sure, even if they are in the middle of healing, they're not going to be able to heal as well, meaning that the Thorn, which was previously slightly over damaging targets, is now close to being a normal 140 hand cannon, meaning that you're going to be able to deal with people as you normally wish. And on even less resiliences, you're able to do 2 head and 1 body if they aren't healing. Now, that's pretty good by itself, but if you combine that with the necrotic grips, every single kill that you get in PvP will then spread poison to nearby targets, which means that a target that you kill might be able to damage nearby targets who are trying to recover from the engagement that you just had with them. So, effectively giving all of the targets in the area a harder time of getting their health back. And just to make matters worse for them, we're incorporating a lot of the Warlock's freeze mechanics, which is great because most of the time when you get frozen, you're pretty much dead on the follow-up. But finally, Hunter shall round us out with a build designed to just say no to anything in terms of their healing. The Devil's Ruin is an extremely underappreciated sidearm. It's effectively a special weapon in a primary ammo slot. When you get this thing charged up, there's very little that can out-heal you. In fact, if you're able to hit the heads, this thing can out-DPS a well. So you can bet your sweet ass that this thing is going to have no problem whatsoever killing a classy restoration hunter. And even if you aren't using the laser beam, its default fire mode is one of the best TTKs in the game, matching that to another sidearm that you might have a lot of love for right now, the Drang. But again, the build that says just equip Devil's Ruin, lol, isn't really much of a build, more of just a suggestion, so allow me to add a little bit more flavor to this by suggesting you run Top Tree Arc Strider with the Liar's Handshake. Liar's Handshake, when it is procced, which can happen from either punching a target or getting punched yourself, will deal 300 damage to the follow-up target, meaning, yeah, there's no amount of healing that's going to out-heal that because your entire health bar gets deleted. It actually works out pretty well with the Devil's Ruin because a lot of the times you might be in a situation where you really need to follow up some damage and somebody punches you, you just kind of clean them up because, you know, Liar's Handshake. Or even if you want to go above and beyond that, pair this with a bow so that you can quick swap into the Devil's Ruin for the additional cleanup at slightly longer ranges. Just simply run a quick access sling mod on that bow and run like dexterity for your sidearm. Or if you want to go even further and forgo the one-shot potential of the Liar's Handshake entirely, put this with Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves and you'll be able to swap nigh instantly. If you have a build of your own, leave it in the comment section down below. It might get featured in a future video, but make sure you're subscribed. Bless your faces and deuces.